What if I told you countries can never truly trust each other? Every alliance, every conflict, every major global decision is driven by one simple idea: power. This is the theory of realism, and once you understand it, you'll never see world politics the same way again. Every day, nations sign agreements, form alliances, and make promises. They shake hands, exchange documents, and speak of peace and cooperation. Yet history shows us that trust is fragile. Treaties are broken. Alliances collapse. Friends become enemies. Why? Because in international politics, there is no higher authority to enforce the rules. There is no world police, no global court with real power, no government above governments. And that changes everything. Imagine you live in a neighborhood with no police, no courts, and no laws. Every house must protect itself. If someone attacks your home, you cannot call 911. You must defend yourself, or find someone strong enough to help you. This is the reality of international politics. Every nation is responsible for its own survival. There is no world government above states that can protect them, punish aggressors, or enforce promises. The United Nations exists, but it does not have its own army. It cannot force powerful countries to obey. International law is important, but it only works when countries choose to follow it. And when survival is at stake, countries often choose power over promises. Realism teaches us that the most important goal of any country is survival. Before prosperity, before ideals, before democracy or human rights, a state must exist. A country that cannot defend itself cannot protect its people, its economy, or its way of life. So governments prepare for worst-case scenarios. They build armies, develop weapons, form alliances, and gather intelligence. Not because they want war, but because they fear it. This is why even peaceful countries spend billions on defense. They are not planning to attack. They are planning to survive. But here is the problem. One country's defense can look like another country's threat. When country A builds missiles, strengthens its army, or expands its alliances, it says it is only protecting itself. But country B sees something different. It sees a growing power on its border. It sees a potential enemy getting stronger. So country B also builds up its military. Now country A sees country B's buildup and feels threatened. So country A builds even more. This is the security dilemma. Both countries are acting in self-defense, but both end up creating more fear, more tension, and a higher risk of war. The security dilemma is one of the most powerful ideas in international relations. It explains why countries that do not want to fight can still end up in arms races and crises. Alliances are supposed to create trust. NATO, the United Nations, trade agreements, and defense pacts are all tools to reduce uncertainty. But alliances are not built on friendship. They are built on interests. And interests change. A country that is your ally today may not be your ally tomorrow. Governments change. Economies shift. Threats evolve. When interests align, alliances are strong. When interests diverge, alliances weaken or collapse. History is full of examples. Countries that fought together in one war faced each other in the next. Allies became rivals. Promises were forgotten. That is why realists say that even alliances are temporary solutions to a permanent problem. Governments do not make decisions based only on trust or morality. They prioritize security, prosperity, and national interest. Realists argue that countries think about power first. Power can mean military strength, economic size, technological advantage, or geographic position. A powerful country can defend itself, shape international rules, and influence other nations. A weak country must depend on others, hide, or band together for protection. National interest is the guiding principle. Leaders ask, what is best for our country? Not what is morally perfect, not what is the most trusting choice, but what keeps us safe and strong. This does not mean countries are evil. It means they are responsible for their own survival in a dangerous world.
So, can countries ever trust each other? The answer is yes, but with limits. Trust can grow through trade, diplomacy, shared values, and international institutions. When countries depend on each other economically, war becomes more costly. When they communicate regularly, misunderstandings decrease. When they share alliances and cultures, cooperation becomes easier. But uncertainty never disappears. No country can ever fully know what another country will do in the future. Intentions can change overnight. A friendly leader can be replaced by a hostile one. A stable economy can collapse. A peaceful neighbor can become a rival. So trust exists, but it is conditional. It is based on calculations, interests, and the balance of power. Trust may exist in world politics, but it is rarely unconditional. When survival is at stake, power comes first. This is the core message of realism. Countries cannot fully trust each other because there is no world referee, because the future is uncertain, and because survival must always come first. They cooperate when they can, compete when they must, and prepare for war even when they hope for peace. Realism does not say war is inevitable, but it says that fear, power, and self-interest will always shape the behavior of nations. So the next time you see world leaders shaking hands, remember, behind the handshake is a careful calculation of power, survival, and national interest. And that is why countries can never truly trust each other.